My name is David Brown. I'm a professor of physics and associate dean for graduate education in the University of Louisville College of Arts and Sciences. I hope you'll enjoy this video on how to work with electronic forms. Now, most of us are familiar with traditional paper forms. You carry them around for adding classes, dropping classes,
Changing grades, transferring credit.
Registering for independent study, setting up a thesis committee, lots of things. All the fundamental operations you can imagine for running a college. Now, in the past, students would have quite variable experiences with their forms. A student would typically go to their departmental office or maybe the advising center and request a form. Now, we've found that the departmental offices have these long, outdated versions sometimes. I've even seen forms recently that requested student social security numbers.
What? You can't do that.
Yeah, right, I know. So anyway, there was lots of variation. So in the College of Arts and Sciences, as in other units, we've been moving toward the use of all electronic, fillable PDF forms in place of traditional paper forms. Our hope is that these forms will prove faster. They just get sent via email. Easier, no need to find a printer or a scanner. Less error prone because you're not reading illegible handwriting. And less wasteful because no paper has to be used.
Sustainability rocks.
That's right. The only issue is that with anything new, there's a little learning curve to get over. And so the purpose of this video is to help you feel comfortable filling out those forms, whether you're a student, staff member, faculty member, or administrator. Yes, even administrators can learn this. Now, all of the forms you might need are available at this one website, louisville.edu/arts-and-sciences/academics/graduate education. And there's other helpful information for graduate students there. And while this video is aimed at forms used in graduate education, the ideas apply for undergraduates as well. Forms primarily for graduate students are found under the Student Resources tab on the left side of the page. Forms that are primarily intended for faculty members are also found on the left side in a tab called Faculty Resources. The independent study form is one example of a form that's initiated by a student. In today's video, we're going to show you one specific and very common scenario, that of a graduate student applying for registration in an independent study course using, of course, an electronic independent study form. The basic ideas we will show you also apply to other forms. The independent study is a good example to use because it is one of the most commonly used and because it requires among the most steps of any of the forms. Most other types of forms you complete will require fewer signatures and thus fewer steps. So as our video begins, we meet a graduate student, Ima, who's been talking with her faculty mentor, and they've decided she will complete an independent study in the upcoming semester. Now we join her as she goes online to find the necessary form. So Ima navigates to louisville.edu/arts-and-sciences/academics/graduate education. This brings Ima to the Arts and Sciences graduate education page. Ima is greeted by the welcome page and clicks on the Student Resources tab. There she notices first that she should fill out her forms using the free Acrobat Reader, so she begins downloading that software using the link provided. It's very important to use the free Adobe Acrobat Reader. If you try to edit forms directly from your browser, even if you have the Adobe Reader embedded in your browser, you're going to guarantee troubles. This is actually a security feature designed for you. When she first opens her document, she'll have to go through a few steps to get her copy of Acrobat Reader set up. This only happens the first time. She'll have a welcome screen and she'll be invited to download some new information. She should accept that by clicking OK. It's a very quick process. She can now simply start typing in all of the blue boxes. She enters her name, ID number, department, and course. For this video, we've created a fake name, ID, and course, Knowledge 693. Note that she doesn't need to enter a section number unless she's joining a section that's already been set up for another student. By default, a new section will be created. She enters the year and the semester. Note that the student may enter the plan of work there, or that may be done by the faculty advisor. After she's filled out the top of the form, she needs to look carefully at what comes next. There's a spot for a title, but that should be filled in by the instructor. She may enter her instructor's name, in this case Dr. Yuri Prof, another invented name for this video. Finally, she needs to sign the form, which may be the trickiest part. The first time signing with Adobe Acrobat, she needs to create her signature. She clicks on the student's signature area and clicks on the button that allows her to create a digital ID. Here she's going to select Create a New Digital ID and then Continue. The choices here vary slightly based on OS and account. If she's already created a certificate through a third-party organization, she could choose to use that for greater assurance. Next, she can choose how she wants to store the digital ID, using a file or another security method such as Apple Keychain shown here. On the next screen, depending on the account and the system, some of this information may already be present. She should enter the rest manually. Notice that she can only continue once reasonable information is entered for each prompt, including the organizational unit, the organization name, which in this case will be the University of Louisville, and a valid email address. It doesn't send a sample email to you, but it does check that it looks like a reasonable email address. Next, she's going to create a password to protect her certificate file. It should be a secure but rememberable password, and she should take precautions, of course, not to forget it. As she types in her password, she receives an indication of the security of that password. As always, you want a more secure password. And as usual, she has to verify the password before proceeding. Next, we'll see what her signature might look like. And here it is. On some systems, she'll have the opportunity to enter a hand-drawn signature using a mouse. This is optional and not required for our forms. Here she types in the password she created moments ago to protect her signature. She needs to save the file for her signature to be added. Our preferred file naming scheme is to use last name of the student _ first name _ student ID, and sometimes an optional short abbreviation for the form. And remember, it's .pdf. This scheme helps the file recipient with recognition and quick access to the file. Now she's ready to email the form to her faculty advisor. Good job, Ima. Just a few minutes later, her advisor, Dr. Yuri Prof, receives the email, opens the form with his Acrobat Reader, and prepares to do his part. First, he corrects or completes the plan of work, then provides a title, making sure to mind the 30-character limit. Don't forget to count spaces, Yuri. The title will appear on the student's transcript and so should be understandable to a professional in the field. He enters his own ID number in the appropriate location and then clicks on the instructor signature box. Since he's previously signed forms with his Acrobat Reader, it's a quick process for him to sign, making sure he also enters his signature password as needed. Once signed and saved to his own computer, he sends the form on to his department's director for graduate studies and lets Iman know that it's done. Look how happy they are. The director of graduate studies, in this case Dr. A&Se, checks that the student has met any departmental prerequisites, initials, and then signs in much the same way as the others. And so that's how it's done. The advisor or undergraduate program director sends the form on to me via email as the Associate Dean for Graduate Education in the college. I perform my own checks, record some data in a database, sign off for the college, and send the form on its last journey to the registrar's office. It's taken several steps, but we've actually saved you a lot of time. It's typically 1 to 2 days with the new forms as compared with possibly weeks with the old paper forms. We've saved you some steps. We've saved you hopefully some time. We've saved some paper. And in the long run, hopefully we've made things easier and better for everyone. So enjoy and go Cards. Thanks. I don't think this video is going to go viral, but hopefully at least it goes bacterial. You know, that guy looks really familiar. So a hydrogen atom walks into a bar, sits down at the stool, and the bartender says, "Hey, bud, why are you looking so down?" The hydrogen atom says, "I lost my electron." The bartender says, "Oh yeah? Are you sure?" Hydrogen says, "Yeah, I'm positive."